What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B, and today I'm going to talk about 12 airport mistakes that you need to avoid so that you can become a better traveler. Follow along and let's get the adventure started. Welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B. If you're new here, I offer travel advice. I am a solo traveler and I do vlogs to help you travel better and more efficiently. First airport travel mistake is one that sounds really simple to anyone that's flown more than one time or two, but you may be watching this video and you've never been on a plane and you may be taking your first flight. So the time when it says, if it says it departs at 11:15, that doesn't mean that the gate's going to be open till 11:15. That means you need to get to the gate no later than about 10:45, 10:30, because the gate's going to close 15 to 20 minutes before it departs. It's going to actually depart, actually leave at that time. The gate's going to close 15 to 20 minutes before then. So if you get there at the last minute thinking you're going to be the last one on, you're going to be real disappointed, because at that point, if you get there 5 minutes before, the gate agent's not even going to be there, so you're not even going to have anyone to argue with. So you're just going to be screwed at that point. You're just going to have to go to the information desk, and hopefully they'll get you another flight and they'll charge you a fee more than likely. But yeah, you're done. So you need to be there at least 20 minutes before boarding time, usually about 30 minutes or so. It always says it on your ticket, so pay attention to that. So don't think that time, the departure time, is the time that you need to be there. You need to be there earlier. Mistake is not having your license or your passport out, because when you go through security, they're gonna ask for your license or your passport, depending on the situation. And if you're going internationally, of course, you need your passport all the time. But if you're going domestic, you can use your license or your passport, but you need to have them out and ready to go. This is another thing that holds up the line, and that's another mistake that you don't want to make, because people behind you are trying to get to their flight and they're trying to go somewhere, and they don't want to be held up by you. So you definitely want to have all your documents ready to go. The airport mistake that people make, and trust me, this happens every time, is when you're going through security and there's a allowance on liquids, and it's been this way for years now. It especially got tight after 9/11, which was over 20 years ago now. Can't bring liquids over 3 ounces. It's got to be approved TSA size. There's always people have to throw away water at the end, or I've made the mistake recently sometimes of leaving my water bottle in my bag, and if you leave it in your bag, every time it's going to go through the machine, you're going to have to throw it away. So any kind of liquid, doesn't matter if it's some type of expensive, could be $150 cologne, it doesn't matter. If it's over 3.4 ounces, you're going to have to throw it away. So that's a mistake. It slows up the line. You lose out on something that you spent your money on. So make sure you're bringing things that are TSA approved size. So adding to the security, you have TSA pre-check like I have, because I don't have to take my belt and shoes off. Always be prepared. I would say don't wear a belt, or have the belt in your hand, or put it in your bag or something like that. If you're going through security, I would say have slip-on, slip-off shoes, or take them off before you get there. You don't want to be slowing the line down, because when you get there, you go through the check. Like I said, unless you got TSA pre-check, you are guaranteed to have to take your shoes and your belt off. So make sure you're already prepared. You're not going to slow down the line like some people do when they get there. Make sure you are prepared for it. Travel mistake is when you actually get on the plane, do not pack things that you're going to need for your flight in your check bag, or even in your carry-on. You're going to want to put it in like a backpack, or something that you can put with you, and put it with you at your seat, or maybe even put in your pocket if you can. You're not going to want to make the mistake of packing it above, where you're going to have to get up and disturb people and pull it down during the middle of the flight, or even worse, if it's in a check bag, you don't have access to it. So you might have meds on the flight you need to take. You may be on a long flight, you might want to put on an eye mask or something like that. You want to make sure that you have access to these things. Snacks, you definitely want to make sure you have access to that as well. You don't want to put it above and have to disturb people and get up and get it from up top, or worse, like I said, if it's in the check bag, you won't be able to get it at all. Just make sure you have those on your person. So I recommend having a backpack or a small personal item bag with those items in it. They also don't assume that food and drink and everything is included in your flight. If you're taking first class, or you're taking like the economy plus or something, maybe kind of check your ticket to make sure. But oftentimes if you're flying just domestic or sometimes even on an international flight, if you're getting the cheapest economy brand ticket, you're not going to get anything. So you might want to bring snacks, you know, buy some water, of course, buy it past security, of course, because you can't take it through security. But yeah, you don't know if you're going to get any of that on the flight unless you see it in your ticket that you're going to get it, a meal or anything like that. Doesn't matter if you're flying international or not, you're not guaranteed that. So need to make sure that you're taken care of as far as your food and everything, or at least don't expect it. If it comes, great. If it's a snack, great. If it's food, great. But don't expect it unless you see it in your actual ticket and you paid for it. This next one, I'm sort of speaking to myself a little bit on this and other people, so this is important to know. So I often always just bring a backpack. That's usually how I roll, and I always put it above, in the space above. Just understand that that's a full flight, and they're gonna ask you to put that down on the floor at your feet. You're gonna have to do it. So hopefully you can get it up there and not have an issue, but if it's a full flight, you might have to put that bag down there, because the actual carry-on bags are priority over personal items. Even though, like I said, I always travel with a personal item and always put it above, because it would be a nightmare having that at my feet, taking up leg room. But understand that, you know, you don't have that priority. So if they tell you, hey, you got to put that at your feet, you're gonna have to put it at your feet. So be prepared for that. So this next one I learned about flying internationally. Okay, so I wear contacts. If you wear contacts, the air on that plane, and you're on there for 6-7 hours or so, is gonna get dry, gonna make your contacts a little uncomfortable. So if you have glasses, I would recommend probably changing into the glasses. If you have glasses, if you don't, you don't. If you don't, I would make sure I have a small solution, so you could go in the bathroom, the lavatory, once or twice or so, and put solution in your eyes to help. Also, your skin dries up, so you might want to bring lotion and everything, so you're on a plane for that long, to dry up, to you know, get your skin moisturized and everything for the dry air. And also, when you're on there for that long, especially if it's an overnight flight, you might want to make sure you have like a little mini toothbrush and toothpaste, so you can go in the laboratory and brush your teeth, so you can have fresh teeth when you get out. Because after being on there all of that time, and the way it works, oftentimes you'll come out, your teeth's not smelling good, your skin's dry, your eyes are irritated. So you take care of those things when you're on the plane for that long. Definite mistake that people make. I always make sure I have plenty of music downloaded, make sure I have my earphones charged and ready to go. So when you get on the plane, you have no entertainment, you have no earplugs, your ears are popping and all that kind of stuff, especially if you're not used to flying, it can be really tough. So always have your movies or videos or music or whatever already downloaded and ready to go, and have some earphones so that you can listen offline status, unless you're going to pay for Wi-Fi, and I'm not going to pay for Wi-Fi. So got all my music and everything downloaded, so I don't need to worry about Wi-Fi, and it works out perfect for me. So that's a mistake that we make. Make sure you have your music downloaded, ready to go, or movies or YouTube or whatever downloaded, ready to go, and have some charged up earphones so that you can listen. Noise cancellation preferably. I think that some travelers make that bother the person sitting next to them is buying smelly food in the airport and not finishing, bringing it on the plane. Don't bring smelly food on the plane. Make sure that you eat that smelly food before you get there. You may want to drink down some water or have some gum or something as well too, so it's not all on your breath. So if you're eating something that's a little bit on the smelly side, don't bring that on the plane, because you got to sit next to someone, especially if you're going to sit next to them for hours. It's going to be real annoying on the passenger sitting next to you. Next mistake that travelers oftentimes make at airports is underestimating a huge airport like Hartsfield, Atlanta, or DFW in Dallas. Underestimating the size, getting to the airport thinking, oh, this is this gate, so I'll be there in 5 minutes. These big airports, sometimes they take forever to get from gate to gate. Sometimes you got to catch the sky train, the air train, whatever you want to call it, depending on the airport. Sometimes you got to do a lot of things to get from gate to gate, and sometimes what you think is like a 5-minute walk may end up being a 30-minute walk. So make sure that when you book your tickets with a connection at a big airport, that you have enough time to connect, and make sure you can you can hustle there. So do not underestimate the size of these mega airports like DFW, like Hartsfield, Atlanta, or even the airport in Charlotte. Charlotte Douglas is a big airport too. Of course, in New York and Boston, all those have huge airports. So don't underestimate the size of these big airports. Mistake is buying all these overpriced items at the airport. Okay, so I get it, you're hungry, you're starving, you want to get something from the airport, it's fine. Depending on it, it's like a fast food chain, usually the prices aren't too bad, but in general, prices are marked up so high at airports. Going to Hudson, the little store, they will rip you off so fast. I mean, literally, I went to Hudson, got a water, a piece of cheese, and a cup of fruit, and it was like 15 bucks. So, and then there's the neck pillows and things like that. You want a neck pillow, bring it with you, get it from Walmart. I promise it's a lot cheaper at Target or Walmart or TJ Maxx than what you're gonna pay for it in the airport. So don't go in the airport buying a whole bunch of things to take on the flight, what you're thinking you're gonna need it, a bunch of snacks and everything. You could bring snacks early too and put in your bag. There's no TSA rule against that. I brought snacks in my bag that I bought at Walmart the day before. So don't think you got to buy all these things at the airport and spend $40 before the flight. That's definitely a mistake that some travelers make, even the veteran travelers. Airport mistake is overpacking. Now, I fly Spirit kind of often. Spirit and American are usually who I fly. And with Spirit, as you know, they charge anything bag-wise. And I see people every time I fly Spirit get really mad because they'll have a few extra bags and they'll make announcements. They say, consolidate your bags. If you don't consolidate them, you're going to be charged. So, you know, and then some people like to bring like extra bags over than what they paid for. And it's like, you know they're going to make you pay for it when you get there. So, you know, just don't go crazy on the baggage. I personally don't like dealing with checked bags because I don't like waiting at the carousel. I've had bad experiences. I much rather fly nice and easy and free with a carry-on, and if a personal item only, I'll do that like this trip. So don't go get bogged down with baggage and then get bogged down with baggage fees. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification so you can know when I have more videos coming out. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace and travel. Lots and lots of travel. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Leave any comments below. I love to interact. And if you would like to help the channel continue to grow, please consider hitting the join button and becoming a member of the Peace Corps and help us to continue to grow as a travel community.